Can someone please message me what the rules are? Because I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what these rules are nowadays. I thought that it was a foul if a foot goes over someone's head. But yet again, it's come from a Burnley free kick, a Wolves free kick to a Burnley penalty. It's like just making up the rules as they go along. It's starting to become a bit Mickey Mouse, really. It's just really, really annoying. First half, we were good. I felt as though we were good without being spectacular. We was good defensively in a good midfield transition. It's just going forward. We just lacked those couple of touches. I felt as though Ponance looked like he was going to do something, but he just kept doing a little bit too much. Jota, we all thought the confidence would come back from him. Again, that didn't look, he just looked like half the player again. And then second half, we just didn't turn up for the start of it. And you're thinking, where is the goal going to come from? Just out of nothing, Jimenez produces a bit of magic. That's what we needed. A bit of magic to open up these type of teams is what we need. But then, unfortunately, we made the cardinal sin, which was change to the 5-3-2. I've said weeks before, 5-3-2 is the perfect to see out these type of games. The players didn't see out the game. Because as much as we can blame VAR for the decision, which personally is a shocking decision, Chris Wood should have made it 1-1 before the penalty happened there anyway. And you're just thinking, what on earth is going on there? I just don't know what we're meant to do, really, in that position. It felt as though the players didn't know what they were doing. I felt as though Connor Cody, today, in those type of games, that's when he becomes a system player. It has got to be said. He just does not deal with anything good physically. But you've got to say, though, the Champions League football, that's dead. That's buried. At least we're in Europa League. Better position than what we were last week. And yeah, that's all you got to really say. Fair play to the lads, though. They really gave it their all. Just, yep, Kevin Friend.
Burnley won, Wolves won, in absolute disbelief after that final whistle. I just can't believe the way it went at the end. I was all positive, getting really excited, thinking Burnley was probably one of the, well, maybe the most difficult game we have left, because I thought if we'd had 2 wins going to the final game with Chelsea, I'd really fancy us. This was the main banana skin on the way, I think, and it's proven to be one. Before the game, I wouldn't have said 1-1 was a surprise, but the way we played was really good, and obviously we had the goal game to the end and we were controlling it then, so I was just gutted and a bit surprised that we let it slip, despite Wood missing a minute earlier, probably worse than Adama's last week for how much the ball sat up for him and he could have picked a spot header in to not even hit the target.
Oh man, heartbreaker, absolute heartbreaker. Wolves dropping 2 points against Burnley in the last minute of the game. Chris Wood scoring a penalty, and to be honest, an undeserved point. I think that we were superb, actually. I thought the lineup was impressive. I think we went out there to go and attack Burnley and get the 3 points, and we looked pretty much dead set to do that. Of course, Mike Dean, surprise, giving a penalty. If we talk about the penalty itself, considering it will be the biggest talking point, bit of a 50-50 one for me. Chris Wood going for an overhead kick, Doherty trying to protect his face. So you could say, well, it's dangerous play, but at the same time, should Doherty just stick his head in there and then sort of, face the consequences and sort of put your body on the line for the 3 points?
If they had got the ref to go over and look at the screen VAR, I think he might have overturned the decision there. Obviously, it hit his arm, but with any amount of deliberateness, really gaining any advantage, the overhead kick being dangerous play in there in the box anyway, Wood was lucky that Doherty didn't land on his head with his studs.
Well, I'm up at the coaching horses in Stafford with a load of good guys. Another 2 points lost, really. Better team. Should that have been a penalty? I don't think so. I'm a bit biased, obviously. I think that should have been a free kick our way. But it's a point game. We move forward. Still 6 points to play for. I'm not dispirited. Nuno got it right again. Great display. Come on, Wolves!
Both sides were quite good from counter-attacking. It was a very open-ended first half. I think both teams probably could have scored. Second half, more of the same, really. I think that we played really well in terms of actually creating chances. I think the personnel on the pitch were actually really good for us in this game. Adama played particularly well. I think Pedence not quite as good against it as he was against Everton. I think some of the decision making in the final third was a bit frustrating. There were points where we could have had shots and we tried the extra pass, or we could have made a pass and we tried the extra touch. I think that sometimes is the case with Wolves. But overall, I think that we actually played really well and deserved the 3 points. And Jimenez, fantastic goal yet again. Really, really good finish. And a brilliant play from Adama. It was a good change from Nuno to bring on Doherty. I think it had a positive impact. But of course, him giving away the penalty right at the end is really frustrating, particularly after Chris Wood missed an open goal. I was sort of saying to myself, maybe it's a sign that good things are going to happen. But I think with that now, Champions League is dead. There is no chance now, really. We had to win today, with Chelsea winning last night. And Man United dropping points as well. Another missed chance for Wolves. We've had plenty of chances to close the gap this season. We haven't done it. And therefore, we don't deserve top 4.
What a lovely way to make my Project Restart Talking Wolves fan react debut. Let's start with everything that isn't corruption that goes to the very top, shall we? Let's talk about the game, or the first 94 minutes of the game. Obviously, Burnley pose a very different challenge to a lot of teams, very direct, and I think we countered that well. We really suffered. I remember going there last year, and they just, not played us off the park, but played in their way, played us off the park, bullied us off the park, almost. And I think we dealt with that better this time. I think with those attacking plays, certainly in the first 15 minutes, they didn't really have an answer for it. We let them then grow back into the game. I think the drinks breaks really affect things. It is almost like 4 quarters now, and I think in that first quarter was arguably our best football. But obviously we got ours in the 4th quarter in the end, I think? It's weird, it's not basketball, is it? But we're talking about it like that. For all the play that we had, I don't think we actually had many shots on target. I had a look at Burnley's and it was 1. We'll come to that certain shot on target in a minute. But yeah, we didn't threaten too much. Nice little header from Jimenez in the first half. I thought Adama running from deep worked quite well. But then it did need to switch up in the second half, and I think that dynamic of Adama and Doherty down the right side works better than any other combination we have, really. But yeah, do we skip all the way to the goal? Yeah, we dealt with them quite well for most of the game, and we get to the goal. I was saying to Doherty, why are you shooting from there? But it needed something like that, a lucky bounce, because they're so structured, Burnley. They're normally a 4-4-2, aren't they? But it was more of a 5-3-2 when they were defending. And they're so structured, it needed something like that to knock them out of shape, to bounce awkwardly, and it fell to Jimenez, and luckily that's an unbelievable finish from Raul on the volley, inch perfect, no chance for Pope, who I think is an absolutely brilliant goalkeeper.
And as we had for the goal, Dharma picked it up, 3 players try and surround him, he still gets away, dink off to Doherty, fairly poor shot really by Doherty, but Jimenez on the rebound, perfect strike. You've got to strike him like that to get past Pope at the moment. And he did really well.
With the actual penalty, I saw it at the time. I thought he was given offside or something. I didn't have a clue. I didn't see any foul committed in there. If anything, I thought it was a foul for trying to kick Doherty. Obviously, he's going for the ball, isn't he? But it's dangerous play. I think if we cut back to Slovan Bratislava at Molineux, Jimenez tries an overhead kick. It was in a dangerous area. For example, Danny Welbeck's he did last week. It's not endangering any of the players. Fine. Jimenez did one close to a guy's head. I mean, quite close to a guy's head. Ended up hitting him, and that was a yellow. Was it a yellow card? It was definitely a foul for Jimenez, and that's how it works. Doherty is protecting himself. I think when you see the angle from behind the goal, it does look a little bit dodgy. To be fair, his arm is further out, but for me, he's protecting his own head. 2 points in the Premier League or permanent brain damage. I mean, there's no question that I haven't got a problem with Doherty there whatsoever. He's just done what any natural human does. Is that you do that when you see, a boot flying at your face with metal studs on. It's really going to hurt, and it's a natural reaction. So there's no blame on Doherty there. And it's Mike Dean. He's itching for it, isn't it? Obviously, he tried to give 2 a few years ago in Cardiff, and neither of those went in. So I think another last-minute penalty there. He was itching for it. Sometimes we love him, sometimes we hate him. And today, he's not going to be popular in Wolverhampton, but for me, it's no penalty. I'm looking at the City one again today. I know it wouldn't have affected the result, but Man City, David Silva clearly handles the ball in the box. No one around him. He's not protecting himself with that one. No penalty. I think the amount of decisions that are mounting up against Wolves is bordering on conspiracy, and I know I'm angry at the moment, but Sheffield United and Wolves, the 2 biggest victims of VAR this year. Well, yeah, of VAR, them controlling the result. I know this is a bit silly. They're not controlling the results, but you know what I mean. It's convenient that the two teams threatening that top 6 elite are the team that are getting the awful decisions.
There does seem to be some sort of bias there, really, with some of the decisions that have had against us. And yet again, VAR's kind of hasn't really done us any favours there. But a lot of positives to take from the way we played. I think this is definitely a team, a selection worth pursuing. I think we looked a lot more positive, a lot more on the front foot. Again, a little bit weak sometimes aerially, but positive performance, but not quite the positive result we wanted. But, still 2 games to go. Can we get 6 points? Let's see.